So I'm sure you've heard the adage before that you should take your best time estimate and double it. And that's probably how long things will actually take. But maybe you haven't heard the addendum that you shouldn't just double something when you're doing it the first time, you should triple it. And that's because when you make your time estimate, everything is going perfect. You have your, like with me in filming this week, okay? I pictured everything going perfectly with the camera in front of me, the screen behind me, and the lights on either side of me. But that's not how things went. And the reason why it wasn't just, problems that pop up, it's problems I don't even know about that happen. It's because I've never done it before. I don't know what I don't know, and that's why it takes 3 times as long. I mean, take the camera, okay? I mean, it's wider than it is tall. That's just how cameras work. And because I was recording on a screen, okay, that was as wide as I am tall, it's gonna cut me off about the waist. I mean, that's just how things are gonna go. I should have thought about that, but it never even occurred to me, never even popped in my head. So I had 3 solutions to that. I could either go through and I could spend money to buy a wider screen. I could accept and say, we'll just get some of the background in there, it'll be fine. Or I could come up with a creative solution. And that's what I chose. I chose to go through and create this whole new workout where I just did it on my knees, so I didn't have to worry about that, aspect ratio problem. And I feel like my workout is better because of it. But the problem is that wasn't the only problem. More problems kept popping up. I mean, there are things like, what do I do about the graphics? What do I do about the script? What about these dumbbells in the screen for part of it, then disappear in the other half? Do I have to re-record this whole thing? Turns out, I kept choosing those creative solutions, and it felt like spinning plates. I felt like I was doing too many things. So I got advice on it. And all the advice was around, hey, you gotta make it bad the first time. You gotta do this quicker. Fail fast, do C-level work, shipping beats perfection, document, don't create. Everything was around this like, hey, you shouldn't make it perfect. But I've got this big block when it comes to perfectionism. I feel like if I don't make things good, then the world is just gonna crush it. I mean, it's like, I can choose, there are 3 things. There's cheap, fast, and good, okay? And you get to pick 2 of them, and I already picked cheap. That's just my situation. So I'm left with either good or fast. And I've been looking for a solution. I think I found one. See, I've been reading this book by Ray Dalio. It's called Principles, and he's this billionaire hedge fund manager. He's made more money for his clients than anyone in history. And that's because, at least he attributes it to his systematized thinking, where he took his principles and translated that into decision-making criteria that computers could understand. So I'm working on doing the same thing here. I'm working on building this business system that I can put my ideas in on one hand, and on the other end, I get money. And that takes tinkering, that takes time, and I'm spending more time to go through and build those systems so I can produce this cheap, fast, and good work than I originally estimated. It's this whole other process. But there are things that will help me in the long run. There are things like checklists that say, hey, this is what makes a good video. There are things like directions for how to make that video or how to set up the equipment. And then there are also things like the program that will help me do the graphics automatically. And I have to go through and build all that stuff, so it's taking even longer. But it'll take me, I'm spending 4 times the time right now to build the system. It'll take me 1/3 of the time in the future. But there's a problem with that. I might be building systems that don't work in the end, that are useless, that no one might want a video because I've never sold a video. It might just be a waste of time. The world might crush it down anyway. So I can't just go through and build these systems. I also need to work on overcoming that block with perfectionism. And that's a big weakness of mine. And that's why for 2018, I'm gonna be working on shipping these videos out faster, getting one out every week for the entire year. And that means I'm gonna have to lower my standards to do that. I'm gonna have to get them out quicker. This one's being filmed on Sunday, it's going out on Sunday, and I'm not used to that, but that's what we're doing. And I'm doing that because I know that the perfectionism comes from a place of insecurity. It's that if I don't try my hardest and make everything perfect, people are gonna say I'm a fool, I'm wasting my time, I'm just posing, and that's not true. I'm doing this YouTube and business thing because I want to give meaning to this business process. I want to say, hey, you know what? I love connecting with people who love business. I love saying this is that, and I want to help people in the future. And if that takes lowering my standards to do so, that's fine. And if it requires lowering my standards in business to get something out in the future, that's fine. I know that the process of going through and trying to ship things out faster will make me better in the long run. So I don't care if it takes 3 times as long to get through this block as I'm expecting right now. It's still worth it in the end, because I love what I'm doing and I love the process of making things better. And as always, thanks for getting better.